As you're going through a spiritual awakening, you may have moments where, or many moments, let's be real, where you feel lonely. You feel unmotivated. You may even feel depressed. You don't feel like you belong anywhere. You don't feel like you resonate with your old friends and family. And oftentimes you feel you don't even resonate with yourself. So what I'm going to support you with in this video is share with you the 3 reasons why you're feeling this loneliness when you are on a spiritual journey and what to do about it. So what's up, beautiful souls? It's Kara Roberts. So I first just want to acknowledge you, because if you're on a spiritual journey right now, if you're having this spiritual awakening, you are doing the courageous thing, my friend. So way to go to you, because I personally know how lonely it can be, how frustrating it can be, how depressing it can be, how much anxiety it can create. And here's the first reason. Your old identity is no longer aligning with the new identity in which you are beginning to explore or beginning to remember. Because here's the thing, you guys, when you are on this spiritual journey, there is going to be a lot of remembrance. It's almost like you went through a period of time where you had amnesia and now you're waking up and you're like, what is life? Who am I? What do I like? What is this? What is that? Because here's the thing, when you are growing up, you are being told what you like, what to wear, what to do, what your day looks like, what you're reading, what you're learning, where you should go to school, who you should marry, if you should have kids. Like, you are being told all of these things about you. And then when you wake up, you start to question, well, do I even want that? Do I want kids? Do I want to work there? Do I want to earn that much money? Do I want to look like this? Do I want to think like this? Do I actually enjoy that? So there's a lot of confusion. And when you are feeling this level of confusion, there may be some self-doubt. There may also be anger or frustration at your caregivers, at your teachers, at your parents, at your family, your friends, your partners, because you're becoming aware that what you thought to be true about yourself weren't really your ideas. So you may start to have some of this suppressed energy and anger come up that is then going to have you maybe act out. Maybe you go inwards, maybe you distance yourself from them. Like, a lot of different things can be happening. And that is also what causes that loneliness or that feeling of depression, because you start to have this thought and feeling like, I don't even know who I am. I don't even know what I'm here to do. This person told me I should do that, but I don't even want that for myself. And here's the thing. After I share the 3 steps, I am going to give you the solution. So I am going to answer this question. So keep watching the video. But I invite you to just have this awareness that one of the reasons you're feeling lonely, disconnected, or depressed is because what you thought was your identity, what you thought you wanted, you're now becoming aware to, that isn't what I want. But what do I actually want? So you have this level of feeling like you're out of control. And sometimes that can then lead to feeling like nothing is working, no one gets me, and then that can cause you to go inwards. But stick around, because I'm going to share with you what to do about it. Now, the second reason why you may be feeling lonely or unmotivated as you're going on a spiritual awakening is because you are starting to understand the power of mindset. You are beginning to become aware of how your thoughts equal your feelings equal your actions, and your actions equal your results. So you start to have less and less tolerance or time for people who are speaking negative things into existence, who are staying in a victim mindset, who constantly focus on what's not working, what's not going right. Because you're like, if you could only see how what you are saying, how that is actually keeping you stuck, how that is actually keeping you in not getting what you want. So you feel this frustration and this anger sometimes towards people, like, wake up. Why aren't you getting this? You are doing this to yourself. And because you have this level of understanding, as you know, everything is energy. What you say about others, your subconscious actually takes it as true as if you're saying it to yourself. So you're beginning to understand how everything affects us subconsciously or consciously on an energetic level and on the physical level. You're also not feeling as inspired. So if you're having conversation with someone with the mindset and the awareness of what to be doing to attract what you actually want, how to be showing up and speaking different things into existence, manifesting your desires, when you start to have conversations with people, they're just gossiping or they're complaining. You're not feeling that level of connection like you used to. You're not feeling motivated. You're not feeling good. If anything, you're feeling drained. You're leaving those conversations or those girls' nights or those guys' nights or whatever, and you're feeling totally depleted. And that then gets you into your head because you feel, well, no one gets me. I don't even have friends now. So you can tend to revert back to your old patterns, have some connection. But again, stay tuned because I'm going to share with you after these 3 points what you can do about it. So I'm going to have a solution for this, so keep watching. But the purpose is you're no longer feeling like you fit there. You're no longer feeling like you belong there. You're no longer feeling that or that zest or that fire. You're feeling more frustrated. And again, you keep thinking to yourself, if you only knew what this was doing to you and those around you and the results that you're getting. So realistically, and this happened to me, ask any of my close friends or family. Basically the year 2018 to 2020, I spent so much time alone because I literally did not have the energetic space or capacity to listen to the negativity and the gossip. I was just like snippy snip to all of those conversations because I couldn't handle it. My central nervous system couldn't handle it. So you may also be moving through this too, where you just revert in, you stay in, you shut the blinds, and you're like, I just need to be alone. But so much alone time can then lead to that loneliness, because there's a difference between loneliness and solitude. And then the third reason why you are feeling lonely or unmotivated as you are going through a spiritual awakening is because you're beginning to understand what's truly important. Maybe in the past you were motivated by the money, the bling, the partying, the this, the that, all of the shiny things, all of the things that are really feeding our ego. You started to have your level of success, your worth, your achievements, your accomplishments was all related to the things you had, the tangible things that you could hold. But as you're now going through this spiritual awakening, you're like, that doesn't even really matter. It's not about the money or the cars or the big house or the shiny new thing or the newest this or the newest that. You're like, that doesn't fuel me. That doesn't feed my soul. That doesn't get me up in the morning. Like, yes, those things are nice. And again, stick around because I'm going to share with you how to balance having material objects and also being spiritual, because yes, you are meant to have both. But when you are in this journey or before you're having that spiritual awakening, you really attach a lot of your identity and your success to what you've accumulated. So then as you're going through this transition, your old friends are in this ego of show, and you're like, I don't resonate with that. I don't get it. So you may also start to think like, am I crazy for not wanting these things? Am I weird for not wanting to have that? But what's really happening is you're coming back to your truth. You're realizing, you're remembering that what's actually important is love, peace, happiness, joy, bliss, service, impact, making a difference. What's fueling you is connection, community, helping, laughing, smiling, doing the things you've always wanted to do. You're reconnecting with your divinity, but that can cause or have a feeling of separation and that you're the crazy one or that you just don't relate anymore. And then what also is coming through, a channeled message, is people may not invite you to different things. When you go on this spiritual journey and this spiritual awakening, your old friends, they have the perception that you're changing, you're different, you're not as fun, you're not clicking with us, so maybe you get less and less invitations. So on top of feeling all of the things, you're now not feeling like you're even being included. And that can feel really lonely. That can feel really depressing. That can also then have you feel like, well, you know what? It's easier if I just go back to my old ways, because then at least I got something. At least I got some kind of connection. But again, stick around because I'm going to share with you now in a moment what you can begin to do about this, because I promise you, it's not worth going back to those old ways, because it's not going to fulfill you, and it will make you feel even more drained and even more disconnected. Another channeled message coming through, you guys, that you have the knowing that you can't unlearn what you know. So that can also feel lonely. You're like, I now know that if I do those things, it's going to make me feel this way. So I'm actively hurting myself. Whereas before, your spiritual awakening was more of like you were oblivious to it. You weren't really conscious of it or mindful of it. But now you know, like, you can't unlearn what you've learned. You can try to go back to those old habits and patterns, but because of what you know and because of where your soul is leading you, you're gonna be like, yeah, I can't keep doing this. So now that we know the 3 reasons why you're feeling lonely, unmotivated, and maybe even a little depressed on your spiritual awakening, here's what you can begin to do about it. So speaking on point number 1 about your identity, what you can begin to do about that is understand, and this may take time, that your caregivers, whoever raised you, whoever was in your life in those crucial years of development, they did the best that they could with what they knew. They did the best they could with the resources, with the support, with the tools, with the knowledge. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying for you to begin to navigate through this, having the perspective that they did the best that they could with what they had at the time. The second thing is understanding that you get to change your identity at any time. And yes, you were conditioned. Yes, there were different beliefs, different habits, patterns, different things that you were told you had to do. But now, as a grown adult, you get to take your power back and say, you know what? Yes, I've been living under this identity for X amount of years, but I'm going to allow for this to be an opportunity. And instead of looking at a loss as a loss, here's a little acronym. Start looking at loss as lessons and opportunities to see your true self. So it never was a loss. It may seem like a loss. You may feel lost, but it's not a loss, because whenever you are having an experience, it's an opportunity for you to see your true self. So the second thing that you can begin to do to support you on your spiritual journey as you're feeling unmotivated, lonely, or even depressed is to grieve. Allow for yourself to grieve your old self. Allow for yourself to miss some of the old parts, because here's a little golden nugget. Just because something wasn't right for you, it doesn't mean that it's not going to be something that you miss, because you were this certain person, you had this certain identity, you had certain friends, connections, interactions, hobbies, patterns, all of these things. Even though it wasn't completely you, that's what you had. So it's okay. Give yourself the permission, the grace, the love, the compassion, the encouragement to grieve. The thing that you can begin to do is to hang around people who have that growth mindset, who are on a spiritual journey, who have gone through different things where you can be learning from, because you are the average of the 5 people in which you spend the most time with. So yes, you are going to have to grieve yourself, but you're also going to be grieving some of those old friends and relationships, and then begin to create space to bring in and learn from and connect with other people who are going on a similar journey as you. So allow for yourself to shift, allow for yourself to change, allow for yourself to be scared, nervous, to be afraid. Feel the fear and do it anyway. And then the third thing that you can begin to do to feel good and not as lonely or unmotivated or depressed while you're on your spiritual awakening, allow for yourself to be wildly wealthy and very connected to service, to the animals, to the universe, to all energies. You're allowed to want both, but have it come from the right intention. That's all it's really about. You want to have money to provide, to support, to give, to elevate. So you don't need to totally disconnect yourself from the material objects. You don't need to say, I don't want money, because that's silly, that's foolish, because you're meant to be abundant in every single area of your life, and money is an incredible tool and resource. It provides you shelter, water, food, clothing, adventure, travel. You can help more people when you have more money. So do not fall into the trap that you gotta be spiritual and broke, that you gotta be spiritual and not want any material objects. That is not what God, source, universe, Allah wants for you. They want you to have every single thing that beautiful heart desires. You're allowed to have nice things. I love jewelry. I do. I love jewelry. I'm wearing some gold. I love nice clothing. I like to have nice things. And how do I get that? Through money. So allow for yourself to have a lot of money, do a lot of good with it for yourself and for others. So you really don't need to be so disconnected, so out there, so up in the mountains with nothing. You're allowed to have it all. So say it with me. I'm allowed to have it all. Again, say it. I am allowed to have it all. So find yourself the people who allow themselves to have it all, who aren't driven by ego, who aren't driven by the material possessions, but allow themselves to have it if they want it. So the more that you allow yourself to dance and really blend these ideas, you will feel less lonely, you will feel more connected, and you'll feel better, because when you look good, you feel good, and when you feel good, you do good. So beautiful souls, those were the 3 reasons why you feel lonely, maybe unmotivated, and a little bit depressed at times, going through your spiritual awakening and what to do about it. If you found this video to be helpful, if it put a smile on your face, I invite you to go ahead and give it a thumbs up so that I know that it really supported you. Also, if you want more videos like this, I upload videos every Monday and Saturday. So I invite you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you can get more and more access to all things personal, spiritual development, law of attraction, manifestation, spiritual awakening, all of that good stuff. Also, comment down below where you're tuning in from. I love to know where all of you are around the world. And then lastly, go ahead and hit that little bell icon so that you get notified every time I upload a brand new video. Sending you all so much love, so much compassion, so much strength, so much love, because I know you guys, I genuinely know how all of this feels. I know that it's not always easy. I know that it takes a lot of courage, a lot of tears, and a lot of what the F is my life. I get it. I genuinely get it. So I'm just sending you so much love around all of that, and knowing that universe is only going to give you what you can handle. So if you're moving through this right now, it's because you can handle it. It's also because you've been praying for it. You've been manifesting. You've been asking for it. I love you all so much. I'll see you all in the next one. Mwah.